Hello everyone, Amod here from the Target Common YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn another topics in generics in Java. So in last video I covered about the bounded type parameters and I hope you have watched that video, and in this video we are going to learn about the type inference. So this is actually confusing topic and whatever, if you see the Javadoc also, so they also write a very lengthy example which makes it difficult for beginners to understand. So I will try to explain this concept in the simplest words. Okay, so let's understand what is the normal or generic English meaning of inference. Okay, so inference means something guess, okay, or to find something or to guess something, what should happen kind of thing. So I'm not going to read any definition and all, but I will just like to want to write some code and want to show you something. So before that, let me create a new class here. We know array list, right? That is the implemented class of list interface. So let me create an object of that array class. So how do we write array list class? And this is generic class, so we generally give the type, right? So suppose string, and I will put like list1 equal to new array list, and we used to write the type this side as well. Okay, means whatever type we used to write at left hand side, same type we used to write at right hand side also. But from Java 1.7, there's no need to write this part, right? You can see it's like grayed out. Why? Because we just know that after Java 1.7 we don't need to write this write the same type at right hand side. But actually this is not like any normal thing, but there is one concept that is called type inference. So Java compiler automatically infer that what will be the type at right hand side. Okay, they are guessing. Okay, that Java compiler. That's why Java compiler is saying that okay, don't write. I know what to be the type at right hand side. So don't write the duplicate thing. Okay, that's why if you remove this part, it will be perfectly fine after Java. Say I think from Java 1.7. But suppose if you write the string at left hand side and try to write integer this side, what will happen? You can see one error, and if you mouse over on this, you will see uh, change something required type array list of string but provided array list of integer. How it is coming from Java compiler? It is compile time error. Java compiler is saying that you have written string this side, so I'm expecting the right hand side also should be string only. Either you mention the same thing, that is string, or don't mention it, but you cannot put any other thing because it is not correct. That's why I'm giving you compile time error. Okay, did you understand? This is type inference actually. Now come and read the definition of it. I took this definition from Javadoc, and I think they have written the best definition, but their example is very lengthy and it is not possible for beginners to understand that. So type inference is the Java compiler's ability. Okay, that's why we see the compile time error when we made the mistake. To look at each method invocation and corresponding declaration to determine the type argument or arguments that make the invocation applicable. Again, might be confusing. You will be confused for sure. So as of now, we know that it's a Java compiler's ability. Means Java compiler only can infer what will be the type. Okay, but how? They look at each method invocation and corresponding declaration, means what you have declared and how you are calling it. Okay, to determine the type argument, so to determine what kind of type will be there. Okay, and it's not only for one. If there are multiple type arguments, so they can also decide for that. Not decide, I can say infer, because deciding something else. Okay, then again the inference algorithm determines the types of the argument if available, the type that the result is being assigned or returned. Okay, this I will explain later. Okay, and we will ignore this point as of now. So I've just shown you one example where we saw that how the type inference works. Let me go and show you some new examples. Let me go and create a new generic method like public static. Static I am using because I don't want to create an object of this class to call this method. Okay, and what I'll do, something like get value any name. Okay, what I'm going to do, I am going to use a type argument here, and the first variable will be n1, another will be tn2. Okay, and we know that we need to declare this here. Okay, and what we are missing, we are missing the return type, so let me put the void as of now. What I'm going to do, whatever n1 and n2 are passing from the main method, I just want to print the type of those values. So means n1 dot get class dot get name. Okay, same thing goes for n2. Let me comment this example and let me call this method. Okay, get value, what I am going to pass, 10, 20. Okay, so here did we mention what type should be here? We are not passing, right? But automatically Java compiler is knowing that okay, we are passing integer. Okay, so let me run this program and let's see what is the output. Okay, we can see Java lang integer, right? Let me copy paste and let me pass a string this time string, right? We can see here get value, whatever examples I have shown you earlier. So I was used to pass the same type every time. What I am going to do this time, one first argument I will pass string, another I will pass integer. Do you think this is valid? Whenever we create any type any generic class and all, we used to pass the same type so that it will be replaced. Similar concept we have already know from my old videos, right? So do you think this should we give a proper value, or this is not giving any compile time error? Okay, so let me go and run this one. What will happen? Okay, you can see how it is working. Okay, for first one it is giving integer, for second one it is giving string. Okay, and for both we are using only one type argument, t and t. So do you think that both the types should be the same? No. Okay, this t is specific to this t is specific to this. We can pass any type here, right? This doesn't matter that you need to pass the same type like string, integer, or list. You can pass combination of it. Okay, now let's jump to the another example and we'll see how this behavior will be changing. Now see the second example where I will overload the previous method. Let me copy this, and what I'm going to do, with the t I'm going to have one array list of t. Okay, so in this overloaded method I have one array list, right? And this should hold t type, right? Same t here. Now I will do whatever I am getting from the argument, I will simply add like n1 list dot add n2. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I will simply copy paste this time this one, and I will paste it like, instead of n1 I will do list dot get 0. Okay, and because we are going to add only 2, so I am just hard coding it 1. Okay, and I will comment this method because I don't want to confuse the output. So what I did, I simply overloaded this method and I added one new parameter. Okay, array list of t. So let me call this method like get value. Okay, what I'm going to do, new array list. Okay, I'll pass integer. Okay, then 10 comma 20, right? There's no error, and I should see the expected output also. So I'm passing both the types, right? Type argument is integer, so I'm passing a list of integer and then passing the numbers. So if you see here, it is grayed out, so we'll see that why it is grayed out later, but let me try with some another one. What I'm going to do this time, instead of integer I'll put string, and I will pass string here. Okay, these are expected. Okay, correct. So again, if you see here, strings are again grayed out. These are grayed out, and if you see mouse over on this, you can see explicit type argument integer can be replaced with empty diamond operator. Okay, so let me remove this part. Let me remove this part, and it is not showing any error. Okay, this is actually again type inference. But how Java compiler is knowing that there will be integer, there will be string? Okay, but before that, let me do one more experiment. What I'm going to do, I will copy paste, and I will do here integer. Okay, and for the remaining I am passing string, right? But again, now it's complaining. Why it's complaining? If you mouse over on this, it will give you like required type array list of t, but passing integer, then t string string. You might not understand this part. Why this is giving error? Here it is fine, because Java compiler knows that from this n1 and n2, Java compiler knows that the array list will be of type integer. Same thing goes for string. So that's why when you're passing as a string, so array list cannot be integer here. Okay, because Java compiler infers that it should be string. Okay, it cannot be like 10 and 20. Sorry, it cannot be integer. Okay, same thing. What I'm going to do this time, instead of integer I'll put string. Okay, and then I will remove this part. Again it will throw error. Why? Because it is expecting that here you should have array list of integer, because other two arguments are integer, right? That's why it is complaining about this. Okay, so this is called type inference. Now I will show you another example where what I'm going to do, let's overload this method again. Not overload, I will just change the name also. This time get value and return something. Okay, instead of void I'll put t. Okay, and let me return what? N1. Okay, N1. So method is simple. In the first method I was simply printing the type. This time I am returning N1, okay, which will be t type. Now let me comment all these methods calling. I'll do get value and return. I'll pass 10 comma 20. Okay, so what do you think, what will be the return type? If you mouse over on this, that is the thing I like in IntelliJ. So if you mouse over on this, it will give you one yellow bulb, and if you do introduce local variable, automatically it's giving that return type will be integer, right? Let me do again. Let me call with different parameter. Maybe I will do string 10 and 20. Okay, so again let me use the yellow bulb, introduce local variable, and you can see the return type is string. Now let me do again. This time I am using the one integer, another one string. What do you think? What should be the return type? Okay, here I am returning n1, right? N1. So first thing I am passing integer. So you will thinking like the return type will be integer, correct? Let's see. Let me use the yellow bulb, and if you go introduce local variable, you can see what is the type? Serializable. From where it is coming, and why even it is coming? It should be integer or object, or maybe in what case string. Why it is coming serializable here? If you go and see the integer class. Okay, and let you open a string class as well. Okay, if you see, this string class is implementing serializable interface and comparable. Okay, if you go for integer, it is extending number. Okay, if you go to number, you can see it is implementing serializable interface. So both integer and string is directly implementing the serializable, but integer indirectly, because integer extends number class and number is implementing the serializable interface. That's why, so Java compiler is guessing here that the return type cannot be here integer string, because the type they need to keep the same, because these cannot represent multiple things. Okay, so Java compiler is finalizing one point where both the types can be accommodated. Okay, that's why it is coming as like because serializable can be at the top level, right? Because integer and string both are implementing that directly or indirectly. Okay, so we know like upcasting concept in Java. So both integer and numbers are there, sorry, integer and strings are there. So Java compiler cannot give only integer or string. It should be one type which can accommodate both the values. That's why they are coming as serializable only. What will happen if I do comparable? I think integer implementing comparable and string is also implementing the comparable. So what will happen if I use this type? Okay, you can see this is also supported. So if you're passing something like of different types, Java compiler automatically infer that what should be the type which can accommodate both. That's why here return type cannot be string or integer, it should be comparable or serializable. So whatever example I was showing here, like we're passing the mixed value like 10 and 20, 10 is integer but 20 is string. So here also t will be decided, the type of t will be serializable or comparable here. Okay, that's why it's not throwing any error here. So now again one concept you might understand. Here I said that when I am passing like this, right, get value new array list of integer, but we are passing string here. Okay, so I said that it is expecting that you are passing string, that it cannot be integer. Okay, but it can be serializable. Okay, you can see error is gone, or comparable. Okay, you can see same thing with this also. Okay, so this is the called type inference, and this is really confusing topic if you're going to look for the Javadoc or some example, but this is not that much difficult topic, but just need to understand why. Okay, and how type inference algorithm works. Okay, so after watching my video, you can go and read about the Javadoc. Okay, you can understand their concepts. But still, if you have any doubt, please comment on this video. If you really like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe and share with others. Thank you everyone.